bit behind on current days, but I did see a photo on Twitter where it looked like Leo was either being seduced by Xander or he was just like, drooling over Xander being shirtless. Have you been watching? Do you know what that's about?
Yes, I have been. See, and once again, my theory: when I watch, you don't watch, is true because I'm watching. I'm ready to see what happens in heaven. Uh, but okay, so Leo goes to Xander to kind of be like, "Hey, I'm turning you in." Da da da. And Xander's like trying to pretend like, you wanted me. Maybe I can make for you not to testify against me. We'll make a trade. I know you want this body. I know that all that. And he's like, oh, okay, which because who wouldn't be? Um, but then as when Xander pushes Leo on the bed, he starts choking him. So it was a fake out.
It was a fake out.
But it was so funny to. I was like, he grabbed his thigh, like he put Leo's hand on his thigh, and I was just like, I looked at John. I was like, back in the day, you would never seen this on a soap. I love it. However, now he'll walk by the TV and he'll casually look up. Gabby's trying to deprogram Stefan. And John looked up like, "What's?" I was like, "Oh, she's trying to program him because he got brainwashed to not." And all he goes is, "That's not what would happen." I'm like, I'm watching a show where the devil's in heaven right now. I don't think realism is on the high end of the spectrum.
Whenever I do watch Days and Greg happens to pop in, I'm always like, "You met them," to try and get him to watch, and he's like, "Oh."
Well, see, I do it with we had dinner with them or we had breakfast with them.
Right.
Thank you, Spectrum Celebrity Events.
He does always seem to start paying attention more when Billy Flynn's on because that was like his best friend when we had brunch with them. But
he's such a daddy.
But now that we spent about 2.5 minutes talking about Days, hi everybody, welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and as always, I'm joined by Aaron, who already said hello. And we are pushing forward with Sunset Beach. We're now going to be talking about episodes 66 to 70. And a lot happened this week, a lot of revelations. So let's roll the credits and get into it.
Can you believe we've watched 70 episodes?
No, I was like, wow, we're getting up there.
I was just like, wow.
we are committed.
We are almost at triple digits.
Almost, yeah. So right off the bat, I'm just gonna say it. Spike was not on this week.
Poor Spike. I'd like to know where does Spike hang out when he's not in Tiffany's arms?
Right? I'm like, Tiffany's just running around living her life. Where's Spike?
Yes. Is he just roaming the streets of Sunset Beach looking for the legend or the Deschanel jewels?
Mm-hmm.
Try to help mommy out?
So the two major storylines this week were Sean's brain surgery, which he wasn't going to have. We pick up with him and Tiffany on the beach, and she convinces him to have the surgery.
I'm shocked that didn't play out a little bit longer.
Again, this is that like prime time piece for daytime.
Yeah, because that's something that could have extended just a few more episodes, probably. Will he get the surgery? Won't he get the surgery? Maybe he had another accident and that leads him to actually having to have the surgery or something.
We had Ray asked to assist during the surgery, which she does, and Gregory seems a little bit nicer to her now that she like assisted in the surgery and she has all this information.
The whole time we're watching it, though, all I can think is this offer she's getting in San Francisco, she's almost gone. Dang you, Whaley. I thought.
So then we also have Cole, who is on the pier, and Elaine is just like, like I said last episode, fuck the Legend of Sunset Beach.
I know. I was like, how dare you talk about my legend that way?
And he kind of like confides in her that like he's in love with this girl and they're not together anymore. And she says that she tells him that he shouldn't give up on it, even though fuck the Legend of Sunset Beach. um, and then like he mentions his birthday, and she's like, "Wait, when's your birthday?" Like that triggered like, "Oh my god, this could be my son," because he has the same birthday, but also he looks like her ex-lover.
Yes.
So.
Which I was curious about the cast list. I was looking at Ray. I know we said she's leaving, but I was trying to see if there was an exact number. And AJ Deschanel is played by Gordon Thompson, who is Adam from Dynasty. I was like, John, Adam's coming to Sunset Beach.
So she goes running to the cemetery and starts digging up a grave, which is her dead baby's casket, which is empty.
That casket, though, was too big for a baby.
A newborn?
Yes, a newborn.
Yeah, a 4-day-old.
Yeah, I was just like, that's a big casket for 30 women to carry.
So, do you remember when we had those flashbacks of the three of them in cloaks when they were younger? And we thought, okay, maybe they killed somebody and buried them alive or whatever. They just buried them.
And it was.
So this must have been it. They were burying the baby. But Bet and Olivia knew that the casket was empty because they helped get the baby kidnapped.
I was so excited to get a little Bet this week. Or these.
I know, just when I think we're not going to see her, she pops up.
And she's always like, we got a big problem.
Right?
Big.
I feel like her hair is growing out and becoming blonder.
I love it.
Yeah, it looks good.
She needs more airtime. I don't know why they haven't given it to her.
Olivia and Richard had a few very tender scenes. I was like, do I ship them? Like, what's happening?
You do not.
I do not.
You do not ship Richard and Olivia.
I don't know. I'm a sucker for like an evil guy with like like these.
He was still mean to
moments.
her.
Yeah.
But she's like, we should give it another try. He's like, nah. I was like, your son's could die, and you're like, at least comfort her a little bit.
So Cole takes Elaine's advice and he goes to the hospital to see how Sean is doing, but he tries to avoid Olivia because he saw the family photo and found out that Caitlin is Olivia's daughter. So he meets up with her and they have a nice conversation and say that they're gonna, meet later, maybe in another room, whatever, before her family comes. Because her father doesn't want them together and he thinks, or at this point he knows that they're broken up. Fine. So when she goes to meet with him later, she literally is in the room for like 5 seconds and she's like, he did it to me again because he's not in the room. I'm like, calm down.
Well, it's the same thing when she's like, I love him. And I'm just like, you just met him, girl. Like, the gays don't fall that fast.
Right.
And we fall fast. We're like celebrating our 10th anniversary on week 2.
So the surgery goes well, but there was an extra clot on his cerebral cortex, I believe they said.
Sure.
Right? Something like that. And they said that there is potential. Well, they didn't say, but they said one of the side effects could be that he's blind.
Which, for some reason, I thought he was going to be blind. Just our temporary blindness. Yeah, just for dramatic effect. And then my mind automatically goes to, oh, he's going to be blind or he can't walk. And then he's going to be able to walk or can see, but he's going to extend it a little bit longer. Just I've watched too much Days.
So Gregory writes a check for $10,000 to Tiffany to stay away from Sean. And my first thought was like, girl, look, remember what you did with $1,000? Look, what do you think you could do with 10? I was like, you could live
You
it for
got
life.
9,000 more to go with that. You could be
She was living
buying.
off of that for like 6 months.
She could live off that for probably 2 years.
All those dresses, and she was always going to the deep and like eating
Living
out.
large. You know how many dog bones that could buy Spike?
Right?
A lot. Spike could be rolling in them. Be like, ooh, mommy got me some dog bones. Yes.
You know what I was thinking? I mean, obviously we're at this hospital set because that's where Sean's having his surgery.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I wonder if this is their way of phasing out the urgent care, because like, I was like, this is a much better set.
Yeah, the urgent care does need to go. While watching this though, it just reminded me how much I miss when you'd have more than just 2 people in a scene or 3, because now with budget stuff, it's probably a little more expensive to have like 5 people in a scene. But we had Olivia, Gregory, Caitlin, Mark, Tiffany, and then
Casey, right?
Yeah, and I'm just like, man, remember when we used to be able to have like actual conversations about more than just one people?
And everybody in town used to go to weddings, not just like 5
people. We didn't get married in the church or the hospital chapel because that's what the size of the church chapels look like now.
Right. So Tiffany says to Sean, she's like, this is probably the dumbest thing I'm ever going to do. And I think that was supposed to make us believe that she was going to take the money and leave, but she rips it up and gives it back to him. And then he was like, I'm only going to do this one more time. I was like, girl, let's see if he writes you even more. let's just see how much he writes. Before then you can deny it.
And I would have been like, let's try again. Rip. I know you said no more, but let's try again. How much you love your son? How much?
Right, how bad do you want me to stay away from him? Annie would have did that.
Oh, most definitely.
But she would have been like, give me $100,000 at least.
She would probably wanted more than that.
You had texted me about Annie. What did you text me that she looked like she was wearing drapes?
That outfit she was wearing, it looks like she took the drapes off of the condo or whatever and made it into a dress.
Yeah, it did actually.
Just the pattern of it just looked very much like drapery.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she made it work. I don't know how. Like, it worked on her. Like, I couldn't see anyone else wearing that.
So she pretended to act nice so that Ben and Meg can have like alone time to speak. And she was like, I have stuff to do. I was like, what do you have to do? You're in hiding in Ben's house. Like, what do you have to do?
Actually, no, she's not in hiding. She's dead. She is supposed to be dead. When you're dead, you ain't got nothing to do.
Well, she's dead to the world, and then she's supposed to be in hiding from Eddie because he was whatever.
I guess she had to paint her nails, do her hair, just, I mean, the list of what to do.
She pretends to order food, dinner or whatever, and which she actually ends up doing. But she fake invites Meg to stay, knowing Meg has to go to work.
Does she disguise her voice when she orders out food or something? Because she has Annie has a very distinct voice where if I heard her voice, it'd be like, Annie? You know.
Oh. And Sunset Beach seems like everybody knows everybody, right?
It's supposed to be a small little beach town based on their hospital, which is the size of urgent cares are bigger than that hospital.
So Meg says she has to go to work, and he's like, okay, maybe next time, whatever. Fate be nice.
Yeah, I know.
We know Meg's not buying that, even though she's playing along. We know she's on to Annie and her games. So then I texted you, Annie pulls a Sammy Brady, and she drugs Ben when he goes to put the music on. She puts like a pill or powder in his wine, which makes him very sleepy. And she puts him to bed, and then she gets into like a lingerie and gets into bed with him. Leaves a note at the bottom of the stairs for Meg to come up to see him, and she pretends to be asleep in bed with him. And Meg finds them, and she gets upset and she leaves.
I'm just glad she didn't try to sleep with him.
Yes, I was thinking that. I was like, ooh, is she going to do something? I was like, is James Riley writing this?
I was like, please don't be icky. Please don't be icky. Don't, you know.
Hmm.
I mean, what she did enough was bad, but
Um, so, oh, we pick up where Paula is, she had found out that her mother may have killed Del Douglas, even though we know she did.
real quick before we dive into that, Paula in orange. Surprisingly, that color looks really good on her.
I'm really liking Paula. Like,
I am
I
too.
liked her, but I'm like invested in
Yeah,
Paula.
I'm saying,
And Gabby's
and
still like a
yeah,
side character. She's not even
yeah.
doing
I
anything.
kind of feel the same with Caitlyn. I know I made fun of Caitlyn at the beginning, but I'm starting to like Caitlyn.
Good, because I always like Caitlyn. um,
But Paula, she's setting in motion. She's doing the DNA results.
mhm. So she follows her mother to the cemetery and sees her digging up the grave, and she's like, "What the hell is going on?" So then she like follows her back to the waffle shop, and she questions her, and she basically tells Paula that she has a brother who she thought was dead, but he's alive and he's in town. And Paula's like, "I have a brother," and I'm like, "This girl, she's like, she just found out she had a sister, now she had a brother." I was like, "She has this whole family she didn't know about."
I took it as I was a little confused on that because Paula's the oldest,
Hmm.
and I feel like she has to be a few years older than
Cole.
Cole. Would
Hmm.
she not? I mean, maybe she wouldn't, but her mom would have been pregnant, had a baby. Surely that was talked about.
Maybe Paula was like 2 or 3.
Maybe because I
She's
don't.
too young
Yeah,
to remember.
yeah, she must have been too young to remember.
Yeah. Um, and then Elaine kind of all but admits that she shot Del. She's like telling the story about how she went to see him the night he was murdered, and how he said that he killed her baby, and that if
Okay.
she said anything to the police, he would have Paula killed. But what he
Hmm.
really said was, being a cop's a dangerous job. Cops die.
Yeah. Why did she go see Dale? I couldn't. I don't know if I missed that or what was her main reason for going to see Dale, which would have led to that confrontation.
I don't know.
I just can't remember if they ever explained it or not. Maybe some of our hardcore Sunset Beach fans will let me know.
There's a
Because
part of me that wants to say they did say why, but I don't remember why.
I just I can't pinpoint when or if. So let us know if you remember. Because I was curious, like what led her to go see Dale.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't remember.
I mean, I get why she shot him.
Yeah.
The
So
only way
she
to
actually
protect.
left after that conversation and came back with her gun and shot him.
Yeah.
Um, so then there was a scene where she got all dressed up and she's like, "How do I look?" And she's like, "Great." And she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go turn myself in." Like I was like, "This is my going to jail outfit."
I mean, she wants to make sure that mug shot is a 10. I love her hair. There's something about
Elaine.
the yeah, there's something about the way her hair does. Like, I
Every
don't
time I see
know.
her, I think about the fact that she was on Passions.
With saying she is, she's Mrs. Crane. That's how I think I probably was introduced to her is through that.
Yeah.
But just the way her hair it's really nice. I like it. I don't it suits her.
When they were showing the flashbacks of her in the cloak and everything, I'm like, I could see the whole. Remember when they were like, it was a woman with red hair, and that's why everybody was like, it was Annie. It had to be Annie because she has red hair, all that stuff.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so they did a good
Yeah.
job with that. But the way everything is happening so fast, it feels like they didn't really know who they wanted it to be, but they were like, all right, we're gonna make it her just to like wrap this up and get it over with.
I feel like it had to be kind of part of their idea
Hmm.
because it makes a lot of sense. Like there's a lot of the stories coming together. So it couldn't have just been something where they didn't have an idea about who they were going to do or who was going to shoot.
But like the part where they like earlier in the earlier episodes where they showed that Olivia and her burying someone,
Oh yeah.
I don't think that that was meant to be the baby. Like I feel like maybe they changed course on that a little bit.
Oh, okay, yeah, that could have been.
I did notice they showed a close up of the picture that's supposed to be Armando looking out the
And
water.
it
They
is
changed the picture
uh-huh.
to Cyprian.
And it looks just like well, I mean, looks just like it is him.
Yeah, in black and white.
Yeah, in black and white.
Um. So what else? Where are we? Oh, so Ray and Casey, um, are back at the house, and they're kissing. And right before they kiss, I was like, Whaley's gonna come back and interrupt us. And then when they actually kissed, I was like, oh my god, they didn't. And then there's a knock at the door, and it's Whaley. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, but I like that they weren't answering.
I know. It's like, I think because I know she's leaving, that I can't invest in them anymore.
You're afraid to get your heart broken.
Yes, because so there's that moment when Meg looked at Casey. It's like, why don't y'all just give it a go? Just because
she's just at SD right now.
yeah, I'm just like, you're not into SB. I know Ray's leaving. I don't want to get my heart broken. Y'all had a look. Go for it.
There was a scene that I really enjoyed. It's when so it was that scene, but it was an extension of it because then Meg came into the room. What's his name? Mark came into the room, and Michael came in because he's gonna take Vanessa out on like their first official date, and he like wants ideas of what he should do. And I thought it was really cool because all of these people are roommates, and we like never see all of them together all at once. So I really enjoyed that scene, seeing all the roommates together. I wonder if they're all going to continue to live there once Ray moves.
I figure Ray will sell her part of the house to someone in the house,
Probably.
or maybe Case, just because. Yeah.
Ben is starting to have more frequent nightmares about Maria, so I have a feeling that that's a hint that we're headed towards seeing Maria soon.
Oh, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, oh, we're seeing more of the body. We're not just hearing it or seeing waves. We're seeing hands. Okay, that hand is slowly going to grow into a shoulder, and then it's going to grow into a blurry face that we can't see, and then it's slowly going to grow into it's going to slowly grow into who Maria is.
Right. So,
which is I think why I have trouble investing, like full on investing into Meg and SB, is because I know Maria's coming back.
And you think that that's just going to keep them apart longer?
Yes, because that's
But that's just a soap opera.
I know. But
a soap opera only works if you keep the couple apart.
I know. But I need a little bit here and there.
They can only be happy for 5 minutes, and then they have drama.
Hey, if Philip came back on screen, you'd be like, Philip Chloe.
Yes.
Yeah. So
but
see that
I am 22 years in, and I've never gotten what I wanted, and look how invested I am. 22 years.
Fair. I'm still pulling for Carly and Bo and Melanie and Nathan, and neither are ever going to happen.
Yeah, Carly and Bo's been like 30 years. Yeah,
and
pretty much.
And Nathan and Melanie haven't even been around.
Maybe they're together off screen.
I know right now, like Johnny and Chanel are my couple. Like I love them. The chemistry between them is just undeniable.
Yeah, I like her with both of them, but now knowing that I can't remember the actress' name, that Allie's leaving.
Oh, Lindsay.
Lindsay Arnold. That she's leaving, or she's going to recurring, but they said back when they fired Abigail or they killed her that they're not doing recurring anymore, and that's also why they got rid of Lonnie and a few other characters.
See, anyway. I don't mind recurring so much. I think it makes the soap more interesting because then it's not the same. How many times can Kristen or Xander or anyone kidnap someone or before
Yeah,
it's just repetitive? So, at least let it change up characters.
right. But back to Sunset
Yes.
Beach. So Caitlin is kind of confiding in her mother that she's talking to Cole again.
Hmm.
Um, and she encourages her to pursue it, but not to tell Gregory because he'll try to break them up again. She's like, let your relationship grow and get strong. That way, it'll make it even harder for him to break you guys up.
And I know the Cole Olivia reveal must be coming very soon because the fact that they're letting Caitlin and Olivia get closer and start to
Yes.
bond. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's coming.
Uh huh.
It's coming because those two are bonding. And she even says, I've always been a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
But
There's
it's
lots of I love yous and like.
uh-huh. I'm just like, oh, the
We're
reveal's
closer than
coming. We're
we're
coming.
closer than we've ever been. And they don't need to keep showing the flashback of Cole and her in bed every 5 seconds. We saw it 5 seconds ago. We don't need to see it again.
Yeah, I remember we're binging this. We're not watching it like it should be.
I guess.
Because the last few episodes when Elaine went back to, she had a flashback of my birthday's January 27th. I was like, that would have been perfectly fine just saying his birthday's January 27th. We didn't need the whole flashback.
No flashback. These are the flashbacks we need. We need the flashback explaining why Elaine went to go see Doll. That's the
Yes.
flashback we need.
Yes, those are the flashbacks I need, not the ones of like Tiffany and oh my god, I forgot the son's name.
Mark. Oh,
Mark. No.
Sean.
Sean. On the beach.
Right.
Like they need to think, use your flashbacks a little better.
Maybe they will.
I hope so.
What were we talking? Oh, okay. So Caitlin goes to meet Cole in the grotto, and he confesses to her who he really is, that he's a jewel thief, and his real name is Cole Deschanel, and that the reason why he came to Sunset Beach was to find the Deschanel jewels, and that he's used women to get what he wanted, but it was different with her because he fell in love with her. She's a little stunned at first, but she's happy that he confided in her the truth of who he really is. So the scene where Gregory, I guess the tail end of when he was trying to pay Tiffany off, he's saying to her, I'll get rid of you like I got rid of Caitlin's boyfriend. And Caitlin walks in just as he said that. I was like, ooh, it's getting good.
And they didn't let it be a cop out. Like,
yeah.
It wasn't fake. She's like, what?
Yeah. She's like, I heard what you said. You're the reason why. So then Sean wakes up and he's fine. He could see, right?
When Gregory, I think so, yeah. When Gregory is down and Sean's like, Tiffany, he wants you, Olivia.
Yeah, that's what
I was like, okay, well, I guess that's a nice thing to do. It makes the mother think the son isn't yelling for his girlfriend. Because they kissed this week. So their relationship expanded a little. But Mark kind of confessed his feelings.
Yeah. Caitlin goes back to the grotto after all this and tells Cole, I know everything. I know the reason why you broke up with me or whatever. And he thinks it's because she found out about the mother, and he's like, I didn't mean for you to find out like this. And that's how the cliffhanger.
I'm interested. Yeah, I feel like that couldn't have been the Friday cliffhanger. So this it must be, our episodes off because that just doesn't feel like a Friday cliffhanger.
Yeah.
But I was like, I wonder what he's going to say.
Small little tidbits. Vanessa couldn't go on the date because she is behind with work, and she lost a story. I don't remember how she said she lost it. She lost a disc or whatever, but she's behind at work, so she can't go on the date. Virginia, James's mom, comes to see Michael, and they go for a walk on the beach. And she basically asks Michael to stay in their lives. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I kind of got the idea that that is what you wanted, but that kind of has to be James's decision if he wants Michael to be in his life. Because right now, he's not Michael's biggest fan.
Not if she's trying to get in James. Wait, is that his name? The lifeguard? No, James
Michael.
is
James is the
Michael.
son, Michael is the lifeguard.
That's right. You confused me when I was just saying that. Virginia clearly wants in Michael's pants, so he's welcome anytime in her house.
Yeah, I think she's going to be around for a while. I think I remember her being in the opening credits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That could be fun. I love a good triangle. I do.
Yeah. I just wish we would see Michael and Vanessa more than once a week.
Yeah, that's I don't they're not letting us invest in those characters.
And I want to. Like, I'm
I
genuinely
do
interested.
too. Because I've
But
always the guy that plays Michael, he was in Grey's Anatomy.
he's been
I
in
think
everything.
I think he married Bailey, and oh, that was such a good couple. They were so cute together.
He was on Mistresses. He was Alyssa Milano's
Um,
guy that she had the affair with.
he was on
Um,
Titans.
He was on Titans. Yeah. He's been in everything. I think he's
So,
on the Grey's Anatomy spinoff,
Station 19.
Station 19. I think he's on that.
Yeah, I think he's the lead in it. He's really good. They underuse him.
Yeah. And who knows? Maybe it'll get better. I doubt it because it's the 90s, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, because I mean, you gotta admit, Sunset Beach does have a diversity problem. Big time.
so Eddie broke into the evidence room in drag, and I was like, okay, at this point, you just like being in drag.
I think I would like Eddie better if he stayed in drag.
I'm actually enjoying him more in drag, honestly.
I am too. I did think it was interesting when he went to meet Ricardo that he was shirtless underneath the jacket.
Yeah,
Like,
when I saw some of his chest, I was like, all right.
It's like he just got boob hanging out.
Yeah, he had a nipple.
Yeah, it's just like I want immunity.
Yeah, I was like, why is it
trying
open
to
like that?
show-
Are you
yeah.
gonna show us the breasts? Like, what's happening? Yeah, I was into it.
I still
So okay,
No.
so at this point, Ricardo thinks Eddie looks guilty. Eddie calls him, and Ricardo's like, "We found your keys in the evidence room. We know that you broke in there." And he's like, "I know who killed Dell," and he's like, "You need to meet me, but there's got to be a price." So, like he said, he wants immunity. And when Ricardo's like, "Whatever, you're playing games. I don't want to hear this," he blurts out that Elaine is the one that killed Dell.
Mm-hmm.
So now Ricardo's kind of like got a big question mark in his brain about this. And he's kind of like watching Paula and kind of like seeing what she is. She's acting different and what she might know. So that was kind of the end of that.
They're not using Gabby much either. She's
No.
literally a talking point.
Yeah, and I know she's a big thing at some point. So it's like, can we just get to that? Because she's been doing. She wasn't on the show for the first 2 months, but she was in the credits. And now that she is on the show, she's still not doing anything.
Which just means they probably filmed a shit ton of episodes. And we're like, oh, she's a main cast member. So yeah, we need to put her in there. Not that, The themes. Okay, remember how I didn't like the theme song?
Which one?
Sunset Beach.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
I thought you did like it.
Oh, did I? I can't remember. Sometimes I don't like them. I can't remember which one.
Well,
okay. Well, I like it now.
I like the second theme song.
Yeah, when does it get here?
In like 3 months. So 2 years.
It's always 3 months with you. When does Gabby gets here? 3 months. When does Ray leave? 3 months. I know that's not what you say. I'm exaggerating, but
it's more or less accurate.
Yeah, not wrong. This was a good week, though. I would give it an 8 for me. I enjoyed it.
I would give it a 7.
Really? Okay.
Because although there was a lot happening, and it did keep me interested. It wasn't the stuff I was looking for. Like I wanted more Bet. I want more development in the Meg and Ben story. I want Gabby to be
Mhm.
used more.
Well, I think that's why right now it's very Dale Douglas heavy, is because they're trying to get past, like we've mentioned, they're trying to get past it.
Yeah, and like there's like I said, there was movement, things were happening. I just want it to happen faster. Like I
Yeah.
want to get to more other stuff.
Yeah. Well, because right now, if we're at Ben's, if Meg and Ben are having any kind of moment at his place,
Yeah.
Annie's got to be there.
And I said this last episode, we talked about Sunset Beach. I just want Annie to not be hiding out in Ben's place anymore. I just want her to be out and alive and like living her life and scheming.
Causing trouble somewhere else.
Yes, just do something else. I'm tired of her just seeing her at Ben's house.
I know. I'm ready to see her interact with the other characters again, because we
Yeah.
got like that little bit of taste of what like her and Olivia,
Uh-huh.
and I'm ready to see everyone's be like
Oh, it'll be
everyone be
fun when everyone finds out that she's alive.
yeah, like when Olivia's like, ugh, like I can just picture her, ugh, you're alive, because I mean, Mark almost found out. Meg let it slip.
Yeah. I like Mark. He doesn't really do much. He's kind of
No,
just
he's
like,
growing on me though.
yeah. I don't want him to leave. I know he leaves, but I don't want him to. But you have anything else to add for this week?
I don't think so. Eventful week. Some huge developments, of course. So we've got to be really close to. Is there a trial for Dale's murder?
I believe there is, yeah.
Okay.
Because I remember a big thing that happens at the trial. So,
Uh-oh.
do you remember when on days when it came out that Billy was Kate's daughter at the trial for Curtis Reed?
Mm-hmm.
Something similar like that happens at Elaine's trial.
Elaine has another kid.
And somebody, a known actress appears at the trial. Like a name actress in the soap industry. So stay tuned.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
It's not your typical soap trial where it lasts for months. I think it's only maybe a week or two.
Oh, thank God. I hate when trials last long.
Yeah, which is typical Sunset Beach. I feel like every big thing is only a week, and then they move on to the next thing.
Which I'm fine with.
It's almost like a week's worth of Sunset Beach is like one primetime episode.
Yeah.
So,
which I don't mind.
Yeah, it makes it easier to binge because you enjoy it more. But I kind of wish they would have kept the previously on Sunset Beach just to remind us what happened.
Oh, I know. There are times when I'm like, man, I missed that. Every once in a while, flashback does come in handy. I'm just like, oh, yay, flashback. That's exactly what happened.
You're like, oh, right. I remember that.
But I don't need to be reminded when Cole's birthday is.
Yeah. Or that he slept with Olivia. I know that he slept with Olivia.
Exactly.
We don't need to see that same scene every time he's glaring off into the distance, hugging Caitlin.
I still gotta say, I still love the moments where there's a head, like the camera's on them, and there's still that talker behind, over the shoulder.
Uh-huh.
I miss the moments they did. That's the thing about Sunset Beach I've enjoyed us watching, is I'm getting to get that nostalgia fix with the way soaps used to kind of be.
Yeah. And it's campy, which is
very campy.
We love
and
campy.
right up my alley.
But all right, well, thank you for joining us for another episode covering Sunset Beach. As always, you can find us on all the socials at Queers and Soaps. And until next time, have a great night. Bye.
Bye.